and More Spirit takes over coming past the wire. It will be More Spirit to win the Los Alamitos Futurity by a length and a half.
This is just an unbelievable day for Bob Baffert and Mike Smith. They are unstoppable. More Spirit has dominated the Met Mile. He won it by 7 lengths.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's throw up the field for Wednesday's Spa Baby race. It's race number 9, the Bolton Landing. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the Mellon Turf Course. 2-year-old fillies, wide open race. Wesley Ward, well represented. Good field, Nicole.
It's a really good field, and I find it interesting that we've got a couple of New York-bred fillies taking on open company here, including, I think, one of the fillies is going to be one of the top selections in Dairy Name.
Let's talk a little bit about a horse that is running on turf for the first time. The number 1 is Cartel Queen. This is a daughter of Cairo Prince, 12% winners with first turf runners. A lot of stamina on the bottom of this pedigree, but this filly seems precocious. A second out winner at Churchill, and then in a little tough last time out in the Schuylerville.
Yeah, I definitely think she was in a little tough, getting easier company here. And I think she should transfer over to turf well. As you mentioned, her victory was at Churchill Downs. Sometimes that main track can transfer over to turf form and vice versa. She is by Cairo Prince, who is a very good turf sire, turf sprint sire, and her dam, a very good performer on synthetic. If she can work on a trip from the inside post, I think she's got a big shot.
Let's watch the career debut of the number 2, Charlie O, pulled off a 29-1 upset in pretty impressive fashion for Michelle Nevin at Belmont. She went fast in the early portion of this race and kept on trucking, a very game performance. The third place finisher came back to run third again with a 63 buyer. Nice family, Escandrea. Belmont was a multiple Group 1 stakes winning 2-year-old overseas.
Yeah, my only concern with Charlie O is looking at this pedigree. I think 6 furlongs that she ran in her debut is about as short as she wants to go, and she's actually cutting back a touch to 5.5 here.
Here's one of those New York breds, Derry Nain. Let's watch her career debut. She's by Quality Road, and she did a lot of good things in this race. She was able to tuck in right in behind the horses on the far turn in the pocket, angled out, and once she got into the clear, Joel Rosario did not have to ask her for her best.
Yeah, and you know what? Quality Road is another one that you think of as a more long-distance sire, but he can inject some speed and precocity into a horse. The sire of 2-year-olds like Hootenanny, Caledonia Road, Hootenanny, a very good turf sprinter.
Here's Flip My Id, another New York bred, this one by noted New York bred turf stallion Freud, winning her career debut for Michael Maker. Sat right off the pace as the favorite at Belmont, sprinted on home. The runner-up in this race came back to run second again against Males in a New York bred maiden with a 61 buyer.
Yeah, and you know, the Maker barn is just on fire right now at Saratoga. You mentioned Freud on top, leading New York turf sire, leading New York 2-year-old sire over a City Zip mare. That sharpens the pedigree up a bit as well.
Wesley Ward sends out the 5, Poppy Flower. This is a daughter of Lee who finally found the right field in her third lifetime start. The race we're showing you right now, she took no prisoners. She cleared off to the lead. She kept on rolling, and she has a very strong turf pedigree.
Yeah, and you know, she defeated Males in that race with a 76 buyer. That's the top figure in this field to date. And you know, she ran very well the start prior to that when she was second to Twilight Gleaming, who's a stakes filly.
First time turf for the 6 stand-up comic by a first crop sire. Practical Joke has done very, very well thus far. What do you make of the Practical Jokes on turf? Of course, Practical Joke by Spendthrift Stallion Into Mischief. They can do anything.
Well, you know, that's the thing. They can do anything. So because of that, I think the Practical Jokes and other sons of Into Mischief will also be quite versatile.
And stand-up comic thus far has done very good work, winning her debut at Parks and then beating Boys at Delaware Park. Knees and Hips is up next, the number 7. Knees and Hips has a very strong pedigree. Let's watch her. Let's talk about her debut at Ellis. She came from way out of it as the favorite to win that day. And you look at her pedigree, it's all 2-year-old sprint form, a really promising contender, especially if the pace is fast.
I think so. She'll have to take a step forward from a buyer perspective, but she did be a next out winner at Ellis, which has a sneaky good 2-year-old program. I think Connect, a miler son of Curlin, has the potential to inject some speed into that stamina-oriented sire line. And again, Curlin, Smart Strike, it's a versatile sire line.
Here's here's Fulminate, a filly by Get Stormy, trained by Mark Cassie. We've seen a couple of those over the years do very, very well. And Fulminate really earned a nice Buyer speed figure in her debut at Gulfstream, a 72, and she was never challenged that day. You have to think she's one of the speeds again.
I agree, and she should be able to work out a nice trip coming from that outside. You mentioned sire Get Stormy, the sire of Got Stormy, who is so good at up to a mile.
Chi-Town Ladies up next, the number 9. This is a daughter of Verrazano, coming off a 4-month layoff for Wesley Ward. She was one of those typical Wesley Ward ready-to-go first-time starter winners at Keeneland during the spring.
Yeah, and her sire Verrazano, he was at his best going a little bit longer, but he did have plenty of speed, and he's by More Than Ready. Very good turf sire, as you saw by Verrazano's versatility, and More Than Ready, a very good 2-year-old sire.
Landslid, the number 10, completes the field. The 11 and 12 are entered main track only. First-time turf for this maiden by Flashback, 9% with first turf runners. There is some speed in this pedigree, just a tough spot for a maiden to switch surfaces.
Yeah, I agree. And, Landslid has faced some nice horses. Coffee Maker, Happy Soul. No shame that she's still a maiden, but, she is a maiden coming into a pretty solid stakes race.
Nicole, where are you going in our Wednesday Spa Baby race? Wide open, so many different ways to go.
Wide open Wednesday. I will take a shot with Cartel Queen. I am concerned that she's going to have to work out a trip from that inside post. But that being said, I think she's going to transfer over to the turf very well, and I think she'll offer some value.
Derry Nain needs a Buyer boost, but I like the way she won her career debut. Very professional, sitting right behind the early leaders, and once being asked for run, she produced it with a strong kick. I'm going to give her a chance here, stepping up against open foes. It's Wednesday Spa Baby Race, the Bolton Landing. Best of luck.